Alright, this video I'm going to go over the interface editor. This is something you may or may not care to do. I find it very useful, very important. It helped me a lot after I learned how to use this. One thing, while I get into this, is your class buff. You can see it light up on sort of down towards the lower left. You should always keep this up. It gives you some benefits. For the Inquisitor, this increases everything: strength, aim, willpower, and cunning by 5%. Internal and elemental damage reduction increased by 10%. If you're in a group, other people will get that buff too. I just thought I'd mention that in passing as we're getting into the interface. Now I have a custom interface here. If you look at all these buttons and things I have on my screen, this is nothing like what the game starts out as. I have different interfaces for almost all my characters. Healers have pretty much the same interface. My assassin and my shadow share an interface. My shield tech, well, now he's no longer shield tech. I have a power tech that is now advanced prototype. He's a DPS. He has a completely unique interface. No one else I play has an interface like that. My gunslinger has a very unique interface. And here's how you do that. This is very much like the preferences. You go up to the game menu, the little gear icons up in the top right, with that little menu of icons at the top of your screen. And second from the bottom is Interface Editor. Now here's what you start with, default. That probably looks pretty much like what you've got when you load into the game, when you first start playing the game. This is not at all what I like. This is not enough for me by any means. And as you gain levels, you will be gaining more and more abilities, and you will need to have more and more abilities placed into your hotbars, your quick bars, and they can be anywhere you want. It's all a matter of preference. Let me go in and show you some of the others that exist. There are a few, I think, that exist by default. I think there's one called Extended. Okay, here's Extended Quick Bars. What I do, go back a little bit here. I go up to the game menu, open that up, go into Interface Editor. At the very top, there's a menu. You can see it lighting up. There's a drop-down menu, so you can see all the insane modifications I've made to the game myself, to my interface. And I will now look for Extended Quick Bars, which I believe you will have just starting out. I select that. Then just to the right of that menu, there's a little page icon, it looks like, and that's Load Selected Interface. So I click that. It changes my interface to Extended Quick Bars. Then I can simply X out. I can just close that, and there it is. I don't particularly care for this, and I also modified Extended Quick Bars. You will probably, and I have 3 on the right and 1 on the left. You might have 2 on each side, I think. But this is one that you can easily enable for yourself to get more ability slots. Just look for Extended Quick Bars, and I believe you'll have 2 of these on each side, and you will have 2 at the bottom here under your portrait. And I will go back to Interface Editor, and I want to choose something else now. So I will choose, let's see, I'm going to try my old Ruffian, load that. Now, I don't like this either. I had this for, this isn't exactly what I like, but I used it on another character. Now I'll show you how to move all this stuff around. Do the same thing, go into Interface Editor. And what I want to do now, anything that I want to change, I click on. And now I can just move it. Once I click on something, I can move it around. So I don't have any real interest in highly modifying this, but all these elements you can click on and move to a new position. You can also change by selecting the item what the size of them are. They have a scale button, so I can increase this in size. I can make this as small as the interface will allow me to go. I can make them uselessly tiny if I want. I can't see making them that small, but what the hell. You can set the transparency so that they're very transparent. You can make it almost completely transparent or completely opaque. You can use the arrow buttons, or you can slide that. Number of slots. It will change the maximum of 12. It will change the number of abilities in there. So if something's too big for your taste, you want the large icons, but you don't want that many of them, you can change that. You can change how many per row. So I have 12 slots, and by changing how many per row, I can actually change the shape. I can make it vertical. I can make it horizontal. I can stack two on top of each other like that. And when I do that, I can save. Now this is the thing, any changes you make, it's almost like doing a text document. Any changes you make, you're going to want to save. So in the interface editor, all this stuff is done up here. I just click save, and I can click save here. This save basically gives a new name to things. This save will save simply physical changes. But if I wanted to rename that interface, since I modified it, I could just put a new name here. So really, you only need this save button if you're going to rename an interface. I kind of recommend it, because then you can always go back to what you had. If you don't like the changes you made, you still have a copy of the old interface. I do this for all my characters, like I said. Now, I want to go to the one I use for this. I used to play Deception on him, and I went tank, but I kept it Deception. I kept the name Deception. I'm going to load that, and that's it. Now I'm back to my typical assassin tank interface. So, just a very quick review of it. You go to the game menu up here, top right, the gears, open interface editor, and now you can begin selecting various items to move, resize. You'll click the save button. When you do that, you can give it a new name. I would definitely give it a new name and save that. And anything you want to change to, you can find in that menu. You will have 2 or 3. I think you will have default, extended quick bars, and retro by default in the game. All the others I have added. And that's about it for the user interface for now, unless more details wanted.